Welcome to Anime with Annie. Today's recap will be on the series Pokemon from episodes 11 to 16 of Season 1. So make sure to stay tuned until the end and hit the subscribe button if you're happy with what I recapped. That said, let's get started. Episode 11. A Charmander is discovered by Ash, Misty, Brock, and Pikachu perched on a rock. When Ash tries to capture it but discovers that it has a trainer and cannot be caught, he and his friends decide to visit the Pokemon Center. They are unaware that they will run into Damien, a talented trainer who boasts about leaving the Charmander behind after making a false promise to return for it, when he actually intended to abandon it because it was weak. In spite of the group's hasty efforts to save Charmander in the face of bad weather, Charmander eventually decides to join Ash after protecting Pikachu from Team Rocket's kidnapping. Episode 12. The Squirtle Squad, a group of Squirtles, play practical jokes on Ash, Misty, Brock, and Pikachu. They finally tumble into a hole and eventually become captured by them. It appears that they are collaborating with Team Rocket. The Squirtle Squad releases Ash to go obtain medicine from town for Pikachu after he is seriously hurt, but he must hurry back or his buddies will be imprisoned by the Squirtle Squad for all time. The Squirtle Squad ultimately stops a fire that Team Rocket created in the town, and the squad's leader, Squirtle, accompanies Ash on his further adventures. Episode 13. Ash visits a nearby lighthouse to investigate if a Krabby he caught made it to Professor Oak's lab after it vanishes. Bill, the Lighthouse Keeper, is a Pokemon researcher who is looking for an enigmatic Pokemon that occasionally emerges nearby. The moment this enigmatic Pokemon responds to Bill's call and moves towards the lighthouse, Team Rocket shows up and tries to catch it. When the Pokemon is hurt, it loses faith in Bill and disappears forever, but Bill still plans to keep an eye out in case it ever reappears. Episode 14. When Ash eventually makes it to Vermilion City, he is prepared to show that he can battle the gyms, Lieutenant Surge, and his Raichu. To overcome Lieutenant Surge, who mocks Ash for not developing his Pikachu, many trainers almost lost their Pokemon, as Ash learns. In order to fight Lieutenant Surge and obtain the Thunder Badge, Ash must increase Pikachu's speed. Episode 15. Ash, Misty, and Brock cross a bridge after obtaining the Thunder Badge by defeating Lieutenant Surge, the gym leader of Vermilion City, and notice a luxury liner ship off in the distance. They are compelled to ride it after giving it a closer look. Brock, though, claims that they lack the funds to purchase any tickets. They depart in sorrow. They are given tickets to board the ship, the St. Anne, by Jessie and James, who are actually dressed as girls, including James, and ask them to join a Pokemon trainer on board. As Jessie and James apologize for what they have done, James exclaims, "Oh wow, don't I make the coolest girl?" He repeats his pain reaction in his natural voice rather than his falsetto after Jessie smacks him on the head with a hammer, and urges him to stop acting like an ignoramus as he pulls him away. James and Jessie meet Meowth at a nearby lighthouse. To contact their employer, they go to the phone. Meowth becomes envious of being replaced when he sees that Giovanni is with a Persian. Giovanni is informed of Team Rocket's strategy to lure numerous trainers onto the St. Anne so that they can take their Pokemon. After boarding the St. Anne, Ash, Misty, and Brock enter the main room. They take note of everyone there, their Pokemon, and related items. Ash observes a conflict between a Rattata and a Starmie. The Rattata defeats Starmie by using Super Fang to smash for jewels. When Ash challenges the Rattata's trainer, Butterfree is sent out. Butterfree responds to Rattata's high jump kick strike with a tackle. Rattata uses Hyper Fang, but Stun Spore from Butterfree stops it. Ash is disappointed since he was ready to win when the trainer brought out Rattata just as the fight was going to end in a stalemate. Meanwhile, James walks by the salesman. One of them dupes him into believing one of the Magikarps is a pricey Pokemon in order to persuade him to buy one. The ship leaves Vermilion City as Ash and his pals are dining. The trainer Ash previously faced approaches him and says that after seeing Butterfree, he would like to swap his Rattata for Butterfree. Brock ignores Ash's question about trading Butterfree in favor of the girl sitting next to him. Choosing to exchange Butterfree, Ash to trade their Pokemon, Ash and the trainer head over to a trade station. While the trainer gets Butterfree, Ash gets Rattata. James has anger issues with Jessie and Meowth because he purchased the Magikarp and fell for the salesman ploy. James shows them the Pokemon's gold Pokeball and informs them that it is a rare Pokemon. James is appalled that he was duped when Meowth furiously points out that the gold on the Pokeball was painted on and scratches its paint to show it. Jessie queries James about how he was able to purchase it after revealing that the Magikarp can only flip around. James claims that because his pay was so low, he combined it with Jessie's to purchase it. He is forced to respond when she rants at him. Misty observes Ash gazing out at the water while he considers whether trading Butterfree was the correct move. He informs Misty that as he was training Butterfree, he thought back on all of their enjoyable days spent together. The first step in Team Rocket's strategy is to lock everyone in the room and then use suction devices to steal the trainer's Pokeballs. When the ambush occurs, James is looking for the Magikarp salesman to request a refund, when Jessie yanks him out of the room and chastises him for not looking for the salesman right away because they have a rocket grunt job to do. when another rocket grunt threatens to take Ash's Pokemon by force after one of them demands Misty to give all of her Pokemon, and she refuses. Ash responds by having Pikachu perform Thunder Shock on the grunt, electrocuting him. While Jessie and the grunts try to suck up as many Pokeballs as they can just before the Pokemon are freed. This motivates all the other trainers to fight back with their Pokemon. To combat the grunts, Ash dispatches Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Brock also sends his Geodude into battle. Ash reminds Misty that he traded Butterfree away as he attempts to send Butterfree out. He observes with sadness as Butterfree and its new trainer battle grunts. Ash sends out Pidgeotto, and a group of them use Gust to blast the rockets away while they regain strength. After that, Ash's Pikachu and a group of Pikachu utilize Thunderbolt to send the grunts flying. However, after being thrashed by all the trainers present, Jessie, James, and Meowth stagger out of the chamber, singed, burned, and defeated. They complain about needing to leave St. Anne's as soon as possible after what they just went through. The ship unexpectedly enters a severe storm. James throws the Pokeball that contains Magikarp and chases after it. Ash locates the trainer he exchanged Butterfree with and requests permission to exchange it back. The trainer concurs and the trade is reversed. Everyone is informed by the ship's captain that it cannot sink. When a wave strikes the ship, the captain jumps into a lifeboat, prompting everyone else to rush to do the same and abandon the ship. Ash is concluding the exchange when Misty and Brock arrive. Ash drops his Pokeball and the three of them sprint after it. Even if they manage to obtain the Pokeball, a tsunami throws them into a wall and renders them comatose. Jessie, James, and Meowth obtain Magikarp's Pokeball, but another wave also drowns them. When the ship sinks and capsizes, they are all left behind while the other passengers and crew make it to safety. The captain assumes that everyone is secure, not realizing that Team Rocket, Ash, and his companions are still aboard the ship and still alive. Episode 16. When Ash, Misty, Brock, and Pikachu awaken on the St. Anne, they find that it is flipped over and sunk. Jessie, James, and Meowth awaken in other places as well, but their attempts to flee only result in flooding the location they are in. After an attempted battle that nearly causes the ship to sink more, Ash and his pals decide to put their differences aside in order to escape Team Rocket safely. After exploring the ship, they discover a weak spot in the hull where they might escape. Misty, Ash, and their water Pokemon seize this opportunity to flee, but Team Rocket employs James' Magikarp, ignorant that it is incapable of swimming. The gang makes it to the surface on debris and meets up with Team Rocket again. After being stranded for a day, they decide to eat Magikarp but are disappointed to find that it is vegetarian. James tosses Magikarp off the raft in a rage and it changes into a Gyarados. Everyone is left stranded once more when it summons a group of Gyarados to attack the party by producing a water cyclone. And that concludes my recap for the Pokemon series of Season 1 of Episodes 11 to 16. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, Anime with Annie, for more such exciting anime content and reviews. And please leave comments about what you thought of today's video. And remember, have an Annie-mazing day.